Magomed, down here, to your right. Congratulations, man. 13 unbeaten fights now. Just tell me how the fight went compared to your expectations and your game plan.
Поздравляю, 13 подряд, непобедим. Скажи, пожалуйста, как прошел бой? Ты так ожидал, что он пройдет?
Спасибо за поздравление. Ну, бой прошел так. Я думал, что он будет идти вперед. Получилось так, что мне было очень тяжело его догнать.
Thank you so much for the congratulations. I actually thought he was going to be moving forward, and it was really hard for me to catch him.
Yeah, and you didn't shoot a single takedown as promised. So do you think this helped convince the UFC to give you that title shot? Is this the fight that you think got you over the hump?
Как ты обещал, ты не пытался его переводить. Это и есть то, что ты хотел доказать UFC, что ты можешь спокойно биться только в стойке?
Да, я показал, что я могу биться в стойке, так как мы знаем, что Rakic хороший ударник. Ну, я думаю, мы сделали хорошую работу.
Yeah, I showed the fact that I can fight stand up. I can be a striker. We know that Rakic is a good striker, but I think that I showed a good fight.
Daniel Cormier tried to teach you a little bit of English to call out Alex Pereira this week. Would you mind trying to recite some of that for us? Maybe send a message to the champion now.
Кормер пытался научить тебя немного английскому сегодня и до этого на этой неделе. Ты можешь опять сказать ту самую фразу, которую мы с тобой уже говорили 25 раз сегодня насчет Перейры?
Конечно, могу повторить.
Yes, of course, I can do it.
Let's hear it.
Alex, stop running away for me.
And just last thing, if you do get the fight with him, ideally, when would it be, and how do you think you beat him and take that belt?
Ну, если ты думаешь, что ты заслужил этот бой, и что бой состоится, как ты думаешь, когда он состоится, и какой у тебя ключ к победе?
Ну, это мы будем ждать от UFC новостей. А так, победа, я думаю, она будет, как бы она ни прошла, я думаю, победа будет на нашей стороне.
We're gonna wait for the news from the UFC, but when it comes to the victory, I think that the victory is gonna happen. It doesn't matter how, but the victory is gonna be on our side.
Мухаммад, салам алейкум, еще раз поздравляю. Как ты думаешь, не будет ли чемпион сейчас оттягивать время до Рамадана, не соглашаться на бой, потом сказать, что я согласен на бой во время Рамадана или условный первый месяц после, ну, дабы как-то в случае чего аргументировать то, что ты не согласился на бой, а не он убегал, скажем так.
Do you think that the champ is going to try and stretch the time sometime close to Ramadan or maybe a month after Ramadan in this way, saying that it's not him who did not agree to fight, but it was you who turned down the fight?
Да, я уже слышал об этом, что он хочет где-то в Рамадане подраться. В Рамадане мы не деремся. Если предложат месяц Рамадан, я думаю, мы не подеремся. А так, после Рамадана или до Рамадана, если он скажет «да», я думаю, мы подеремся с ним.
Yeah, I heard something about the fact that he was going to offer Ramadan, but obviously we're not going to fight during Ramadan. If it happens so, then we're gonna decline. But a month before, a month after, that's no issue. We'll fight.
Мухаммад, тут еще одно такое обстоятельство есть. Это Дана Уайт, который, сейчас точно не скажу, но вроде до боя он сказал, если Анкалев покажет блестящее выступление, то он следующим подерется за титул. Считаешь ли ты это выступление блестящим и сможет ли там условно Дана считать его? Или сказать, ну, мне не понравилось его выступление, например?
And another thing, maybe not today, but at some point Dana has said that in order for me to give him a shot or in order for him to get the shot, he needs to show an exciting fight. Do you think that there's a potential that he might think that today wasn't exciting enough and he could say, well, it wasn't exciting enough for a title?
Да, я думаю, я показал все, что возможно. Я шел вперед. Получилось так, что соперник начал работать вторым номером, и мне было тяжело его догнать. В общем, я думаю, ему показали.
Yeah, you know, I showed what I can do. I put 100% of myself out there. It just happened so that he started to work as number two, and he started running away from me, and it was really hard for me to catch him. So it didn't look as good as I thought, but I think that we showed what we needed to show.
Вот сейчас Перейра тоже не раз говорил о том, что потенциально может там в тяжелый вес перейти. Если все-таки получится так, что он перейдет в тяжелый вес там за третьим поясом, к примеру, как ты думаешь, с кем тебя UFC могут свести в поединке за титул?
You know, Pereira has
временного чемпиона или кого бы там ни было. Спасибо.
You know, Pereira has spoken before that he potentially could move up to heavyweight. Let's say that he does move up to heavyweight. Who do you think that you'll be able to fight in light heavy for the title, or maybe for a what is it called? Interim title? Thank you.
Ну, я думаю, мне все равно, с кем биться в этом дивизионе. Я уже, можно сказать, бился со всеми стопами. И если получится так, что Перейра уйдет на тяжелый вес, и мне будет все равно. Кого поставят в UFC, с тем подерусь.
You know, it doesn't matter. I've fought a lot of the tops in this division, and if it just happens so that he goes to heavyweight, then whoever UFC puts in front of me, that's who will fight for the title.
И последний вопрос от меня. На фотографиях перед боем за неделю фанаты заметили что-то похожее на рану, начали опять на там, стафилококк все списывать. Что это было на коленке, если не ошибаюсь? Действительно ли были какие-то проблемы со здоровьем, или это просто какие-то там натертости, потертости во время там тренировок?
There was a picture that came out about a week before the fight that got the fans concerned. There was a lot of staph rumors. Could you please explain what that was on your knee? Was it something that basically just you got hurt in practice, or was it something wrong with your health indeed?
Ну, ничего такого не было. Это была простая рана, и как бы я тренировался с этой раной, у меня она начала чуть раздражение, что ли, такое. И, в общем, ничего такого не было. Это просто рана.
No, it was just a scratch. It was nothing serious. I was just training with it, and maybe it got a little inflamed, but it was nothing big.
Hi, Mohammed. Yusuf here. Congratulations for the win. Many believe that if someone in light heavyweight would beat Pereira, it's Mohammed Ankalev. However, we saw some tweets for you that you will go and strike with him and knock him out. Don't you want to utilize your wrestling as something different?
Многие считают, что если есть кто-то в этом дивизионе, кто может победить чемпиона Алекса Перейру, то это именно Мухаммед Анкалаев. Но как ты думаешь, для того, чтобы его победить, ты сказал, что ты готов с ним стоять только в стойке и бить его в стойке. Не кажется ли тебе, что тебе все-таки нужно будет подключить борьбу для того, чтобы уверенно победить?
Конечно, эти бои, я могу бить с ним в стойке, я могу его бороться. Я думаю, это бой для меня не такой тяжелый бой. У меня были бои намного тяжелее.
You know, it's MMA, so of course I can strike with him, I can wrestle with him. I mean, I don't really think that this is going to be that much of a hard fight for me. I think I've had harder fights in the division.
Thank you.
Магомед, ассаламу алейкум. Ты уже дважды дрался с Джонни Уолкером, и у нас скоро намечается, есть один боец, Богдан Гусков, который в скором времени должен разделить октагон с ним. И он наш соотечественник. Какие advice от твоих сторон Богдану Гускову ты бы дал ему советы против боя с Джонни Уолкером? Спасибо.
There's a fighter, Johnny Walker, that you've shared the octagon with twice. Now we have a fighter from our country that is going to fight him. His name is Bogdan Guskov. If you had an advice for Bogdan about the fight against Johnny, what would you advise him?
Что бы я мог сказать? Джонни Уолкер, он такой боец, очень нестандартный. Чтобы против него что-то готовить, это очень тяжело. Но его надо почувствовать в ринге. Он нестандартный, и он бьет откуда хочешь, поэтому я думаю, его надо почувствовать.
You know, Johnny Walker is a very unorthodox fighter. It's very hard to prepare something specific for him. He's very awkward. He throws from all sorts of different directions from wherever he wants. So it's hard to prepare for something like that. You just have to feel him. Once you feel him in the octagon, you can figure out how to solve it.
Магомед, с победой. У Алекса Перейры, твоего потенциального следующего соперника, есть фирменное слово «шама». Есть ли у тебя какое-то слово, возможно, даже необычное, которое ты используешь в повседневной жизни?
Alex Pereira has a word that he uses all the time. It's kind of like his mantra, motto. It's shama. He says it all the time. Is it something that... Do you have a word or some sort of saying that you use for yourself?
Ну, у меня нет таких слов. Ну, нет, в общем. Только Мухаммад и все.
No, don't really have any words like that. Just Muhammad, that's it.
Mohammed, question right here, this way. Why do you think personally the UFC doesn't want you to fight Alex Pereira? Your own opinion.
Почему ты думаешь, вот именно ты, как ты думаешь, почему UFC не хочет, чтобы ты бился с Перейрой? Твое мнение.
Ну, я не знаю, почему UFC делает так. Ну, мы понимаем, что Перейру оберегают, так как он бьется в стойке, как бы он боец зрелищный. Ну, я думаю, его оберегают.
You know, I'm not sure why the UFC is doing it. I mean, I think they're protecting him. We know that he's an exciting fighter. We know that he fights in the stand-up. He's a great striker. So I think that they're just saving him, protecting him.
And in the lack of Alex fight, who do you think they will give you, or who do you think you would want to fight if there's no Alex Pereira on the next fight?
Если не Перейра, кого ты думаешь тебе дадут? С кем бы ты подрался?
Ну, я не знаю именно кого назвать. Я думаю, топ-5, кто будет, там свободный с ним, наверное, подерутся, если Перейра откажется.
I don't know what name to call. I mean, top 5. Anybody from top 5. If Pereira turns it down, then anybody from top 5.
Mohammed, one question. Congrats on a very important win today. Were you surprised by how good Rakic stand-up was and how well prepared he was for you?
Поздравляю с победой. Удивило ли тебя на то, насколько хорош Рачич в стойке и насчет того, как хорошо он был к тебе готов?
Нет, не удивил, но я понимал, что он очень крепкий боец. Да, он очень крепкий парень. Но я думаю, ему очень было тяжело со мной, и как бы он не давал мне работать, и сам не работал, как так получилось.
No, I wasn't surprised by anything. We knew that he was a really tough guy. He was really a really tough fighter, but he did not let me work. He wasn't really doing anything himself, and he didn't let me do my thing.
Thank you.
Magomed, congratulations on your victory right over here. So I have a quick question just to kind of check what you said. You mentioned that you were surprised that Rakic was working as a second number, basically. So was the original game plan from your side to try to counter him on when he was trying to enter?
Просто из того, что ты сказал, что он работал вторым номером, значит, получается, что если оригинально план был, чтобы работал вторым номером ты, а он шел первым?
Нет, план был такой, я думал, как бы у него последнее поражение, и думал, что он будет идти вперед. Я думал, будет много крови, если честно.
No, honestly, what I thought is that because he's coming off of a loss, then he's going to pressure and he's going to go forward. And I expected a lot of blood.
I think before the third round, actually, his corner gave him an advice that he was up on the scorecards. And that's why he didn't press the action. Are you surprised by that?
Перед третьим раундом я тебе уже говорил, что его угол сказал ему, что он 2 раунда выигрывает. Ты слышал об этом и насколько для тебя это удивление?
Нет, не слышал. Ну, я думаю, всегда свой угол как бы поддерживает бойца, да, настраивать его на третий раунд, так как они понимают, что он проигрывает. Поэтому, наверное, ему сказали, чтобы чуть-чуть разбудить его.
I didn't hear about that, but I think it's obvious that whoever is the corner man would probably do whatever he can to kind of cheer up his fighter or maybe lead his fighter to victory. So even if they know that they're down 2 rounds, they will say, you're winning. This way they can kind of, get him working in the third round to decisively take the victory.
Okay, and you mentioned that in your opinion, Alex Pereira is one of the easiest fights for you in this division, but at the same time, you've many times expressed your desire to strike with him mostly. What is it about Alex's style in striking that you think that you can take advantage of, without giving too much away, obviously?
Ты говоришь, что ты не думаешь, что он будет для тебя очень сложным боем, Алекс Перейра, чемпион. Что тебе кажется, что ты видишь в его ударке, что тебе кажется, что ты спокойно сможешь его перебить?
Ну, его ударка, все понимают, какая ударка. Он стандартный боец, который идет вперед и роняет своим левым хуком.
Everybody can read his striking. He's just a regular standard fighter who moves forward and drops people with his hook.
Okay, and one last one from me, if I may. I believe I've seen a video of you mentioning that you were originally offered a fight with Alex at UFC 300. Could you either confirm or deny that?
Скажи, пожалуйста, я права или нет, что я видела какое-то видео, где ты говоришь, что тебе в какое-то время предложили бой против Перейры на UFC 300. Это правда или неправда?
Нет, неправда. Почему разговоры были, что хотят мне дать бой, и все-таки не было контракта и конкретного разговора по этому бою.
No, it's not true. There was talks with me getting the fight against Alex for 300, but there was no contract, so it was basically just talks.
Разговоры были, а так контракта не было.
There were talks, but there was never a contract.
Thank you again and congratulations on the victory.
Магомед, извини, еще один вопрос про Перейру. Если так случится, что следующую защиту он проведет не против тебя и проиграет, будет ли он интересен тебе как боец или тебя он интересует только как чемпион?
A question, one more about Alex Pereira. What if he does defend his title against somebody else and loses the title? Would he be interesting to you as a fighter, or you're only interested in Pereira as a championship fight?
Мне он интересен сейчас как бы, так как он чемпион. Если он не будет чемпионом, я думаю, нету такого интереса.
I'm only interested in fighting him for the championship. If he's no longer a champion, then I'm no longer interested.
Khamzat, front right here, dead center. Congratulations on the victory. I guess it's been a long time since we had last seen you in there. You said all week, you know, you were the most dangerous man, you were the best wrestler, and you would finish Robert Whittaker. So I guess is this exactly how you saw the fight playing out?
Yeah, I did work for that, so I had a game plan, just take him down, finish the guy. So, but we can, it's not surprise. I take on whoever I want. So, yeah, that's it.
He posted someone posted a photo of his jaw. It looked like he had either broken his jaw or dislocated, and he's missing some teeth, and they're pushed out. I'm curious if you've seen that, and did you know the damage that you had done to him?
Yeah, before I come in here, they showed it for me, but I felt something was wrong with his chin when I push it. So, but feels bad for that. So, it didn't mean to broke somebody's chin, but it's my work, you know, make somebody pain and make me happy and my family.
So you could feel it when you grabbed it?
Yeah, when I push it, when I felt some clicks. You know, so.
And we saw Dana White come up to you when you were leaving the octagon. What exactly did he tell you?
Congratulations, he said. So, yeah.
And obviously a lot of people online are now, they want to see you fight for the title next, maybe skip over Sean Strickland. Is that something you're going to ask for? Because it seems like fans really want to see that fight.
Bro, like I said before, fans flying this way and other way, but they said I not deserve this fight, and he's sick, he's that, he's loud. When I finish somebody, they come back, you know. So don't listen so much fans, but I'm going for my victory. So it doesn't matter Sean or Jake who's just going for the gold. So we'll see what's happening next. So I'm ready.
Khamzat, every single time somebody doubts your endurance, every single time somebody says Khamzat doesn't have more than one round in him, and every single time you you win. Why do you think this talk ever since 2020?
I don't know, but 14-0, it's only me, Khamzat Chimaev. So first round, last round, second round, first, second, first meal. What's the matter with that? You win.
And there's a new Khamzat appears to be very calm, collected, well-spoken, good attitude.
But I've always been like that. When somebody talk bad to you, I can't stay there and just listen to him, you know. So Rob is a great guy, great human, you know, so, but great champion and family guy. And I always been looking up to that guy, you know, so respectful. If somebody respectful to me, you know, I'm 10 times more respectful back. So if somebody bad to me, I'm a dangerous guy for him.
And last one for me. Who do you think the UFC will offer you next? I mean, obviously he's going to jump in the ranks quite a bit. He just be the number 4 contender. Who do you think the UFC will offer you? Is there someone that you would like to fight yourself?
I want to fight everyone. Just make the money. Be happy.
Khamzat, over here. You opened up a lot about the changes you made coming into this fight. Given all that, was there ever any doubt about what would happen in there tonight, or were you fully confident despite all these different changes?
No, but so I'm always trust the God. So I do my best in the training on my camps, and I push. Nobody push himself. So my boys, my family, the people who knows me, they know how hard I work. So I can do the best thing I can do, then I trust God. He gives me the way, so he's my side. He gives me victory, thanks God.
You gave Robert a lot of respect before the fight and afterwards. Can you just tell me a little bit more about that? Because I remember a few years ago you were saying you didn't actually want to fight him, you wanted to train with him. So to see tonight unfold, just give me some thoughts.
Yeah, still, if Rob open for that, of course I want to train with that guy, so I'm going for Australia soon, so hopefully, but right now his chin is bad, so I hope soon he get back and maybe we can work together as well, so I can learn a lot of things. He's a great guy, a great champion, you know, so one of the best guys in this game.
Do you think you can do what you did tonight to both Dricus du Plessis and Sean Strickland, no matter who it is?
I don't know, but I can't say anything right now, so I'm not, you know, like specialist sit here and I gonna do this, that, but I'm gonna do my best job I can do. So it can be same way, maybe harder way, don't know.
Hi Hamza, Yusuf to your left here.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be the fastest to finish Robert Whittaker since he joined the UFC?
It's amazing, like always. To win your fight, get your money, go back to your family, be happy. You know, see my mom, and I called my mom after the fight, so she's happy, I'm happy. So feels good, man. It's like normal.
Some people doubted you from the press conference before the fight when you said, "If I lose, I lose." What we know from Hamza before, I kill everybody, I beat everybody. What changed?
Man, I'm not that young before, you know, not 24 years old, so I'm 30, so it has to be, have to think a lot of things before you say, you know, so I have my young boy back waiting for me, so it has to be a good picture for him. So sometimes, that time I was doing a lot of things, but didn't know it would be wrong, but sometimes you look back and some weird things I did as well, so, but we learn. So now I'm thinking what I am saying before.
Things change when you are a father.
Yeah, of course. It more makes you motivated, more you want to make more money and make better life for your kids.
Yeah. Last question from me. If you are given the choice to choose to fight Adesanya or Strickland, what do you choose?
If it would be for title, just both. I don't know. So for me, Adesanya would be a good money fight. So because he has a bigger name, and Sean Strickland, we've been in the gym, we did train together, so we has some stuff not done yet. So that would be good history as well. So I don't know. We'll see.
All the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Khamzat, приветствую тебя. здесь по центру, с победой. Вот ты, когда выходил на прием, понимал ли ты, что будет воздействие конкретно на челюсть, или ты думал, что получится удушить, или понимал, что ты таким образом сломаешь зубы, я насколько слышал, Роберту Whittakerу?
Congratulations on the victory. When you went to choke him, did you understand that this was going to be the way you could break his jaw, or did you know that this was going to be the way to hurt him most?
Нет, конечно, не думал сломать ему челюсть, я думал, шею возьму, ну, как... Это очень быстро случилось, у него что-то кликнуло, там, челюсть, я даже не вспомнил. Я думал, я его шею беру, кажется, я ему челюсть взял.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to break his jaw in any way. It just happens that I went for a choke and I heard something click, and I thought it was taking his neck, but I guess, I broke the jaw.
Ты сейчас, Хамзат, отметил, что ты немножко стал уже как бы более взрослым, не такой, как там несколько лет назад, когда ты весь был на кураже. Но можно ли сказать, что вот ты возвращаешься в это состояние только когда вот выходишь к октагону, как будто бы ты вот в том состоянии и такой максимальный кураж ловишь?
Ну, какой кураж, не был, да, тот же Хамзат в бою. То, что я умею делать, в любом случае я буду делать. Пока что мое тело идет и мое сердце стучится, буду до конца идти.
You said that you're more mature now. You watch what you say more, but then once you get into the cage, you still click and you get back to the old. We see the old Khamzat, the one that's ready to smash everybody. Is that something that happens to you only when you cross into the cage? And the answer is, it doesn't matter what happens in or outside the octagon. What happens is what I know to do is I know how to fight, and I'm going to go in there. I'm going to do what I know how to do. I'm going to keep getting my victories.
Хамзат, салам алейкум. Поздравляю с победой. За минуту и 20 секунд до конца он постучал. А у тебя было понимание, что в этом раунде все должно закончиться? Ты вот после нескольких неудачных, скажем так, попыток, точнее, вот он нивелировал твои попытки, ты понимал, что в этом раунде все закончится?
Ну, я когда уже проход сделал, почувствовал его, я понял, что в партии я могу в любое время, в любое время неправильно будет, но я думаю, я уже понял, что я могу доминировать над ним в партии. Я чувствовал, что он не того уровня, который у меня есть.
He tapped within a minute and 20 seconds left till the end of the round. Did you know that you tried to throw in a couple of submissions before, but it didn't work out? And then when did you realize that you can finish it right there and then? And I realized that once I got him to the ground, I knew that I could control him there, and I'm better than him on the ground in any way.
Ассаламу алейкум, Хамзат. Искренне поздравляю с победой. Скажи, насколько тренировки в зале ММА Fit помогли тебе? Каким тренером ты считаешь Хусана Маджлимова?
Все не понял, брат.
Каким тренером ты считаешь Хусана Маджлимова, он сказал, кажется.
Я постоянно там тренируюсь, когда в Дубае бываю и провожу свои тренировки. Там Хусан постоянно помогает, отличный тренер, и у него хорошие ученики. Только что один ученик из них стал чемпионом UA Warriors. И спасибо огромное Хусану, отличный парень, такой душевный. И с Узбекистаном вообще у меня много таких общих друзей и очень уважительные ребята. Большое сигнал, спасибо.
Еще раз поздравляю с победой.
Спасибо.
Хамзат, поздравляю тебя с победой. Вот,
спасибо.
По центру. Мырбек Сулумбекович Хасиев, глава лиги ACA, часто говорит про какие-то стеношные бои, противостояния лиги ACA и UFC. Ты тренировался в этом лагере с Абубакаром Вагаевым. Вот мы знаем, что твой уровень борьбы в UFC один из лучших в среднем весе. А если сравнивать тебя вот с Абубакаром Вагаевым, экс-чемпионом лиги, то можешь ли сказать, какой уровень у него, какой у тебя?
Как я могу сказать своему, как Абубакар, как мне родной брат, как старший брат. Мы так учимся друг друга, но мы там на серьезе не боремся и на серьезе. Как сказать серьезе? Мы помогаем друг другу, хорошо боремся. Абубакар 10 раз тяжелее повалить, чем Роберта Whittaker, я так скажу. И Абубакар хорошего уровня. Конечно, разные организации, разные уровни. И не только там бойцовское, и этот шоу, и UFC, и атмосфера, люди, и там разные страны выступающие. Этот уровень чуть-чуть по-другому, мне кажется. А так бойцы ICA высокого уровня. Я с ними работал, спасибо огромное всем ребятам, которые помогали, Абубакару, там Григор сейчас будет в Питере драться и Сочи парень такой. И Влад тоже ICA выступает, такой здоровый белорусский танк. Спасибо им огромное. Они меня подготовили, и я выиграл свой бой.
И ясно тебе, что Роберт Whittaker — это чемпион Австралии по борьбе, что твоя борьба намного лучше оказалась, чем у чемпиона Австралии?
Не знаю, борьбу Австралии я никогда не слышал, что там борьба вообще есть. Ну, точно чеченцев и дагестанцев борьбу никто не научит. Это борьба, это наша тема.
Are you aware that Robert Whittaker is a wrestling champion in Australia? And the answer is, I didn't know that there was wrestling in Australia. I mean, the way we wrestle in Chechnya and Dagestan, there's no way that anybody can teach that.
Тебя удивило то, что он не знает, кто такой Буайсар Сайтиев? Чемпион Австралии по борьбе?
Нет, не удивило, потому что у них борьбы совсем нет. И, конечно, Буайсар такой легендарный человек. И тот, который живет с другой стороны света, и там вообще борьба не популярна, по мне кажется, поэтому, а так, единоборство, если человек спортивный сам, и он должен знать таких великих людей.
Спасибо.
Assalamu alaikum, Hamza.
Alaikum salam.
Over here.
Yeah.
Down this side.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the win, first of all.
Thank you.
Hamza, there's been a lot of talk and confirmed by Dana White that he wants to do a UFC in South Africa. It's entirely likely now with this win, the way you won today over Robert Whittaker, that this might be the fight that the UFC wants to make, you versus Dricus in South Africa. Is that something you would entertain, or would you rather wait until you can fight either here or in Saudi Arabia? Thank you.
If it would be for the belt, for me it doesn't matter where it goes, so it's just gonna go there and take my gold. So it's up to Dana, wherever he. I think he's never been in Africa, the fights in UFC. So if they go, it's pretty good history, and I wanna be. I would like to enjoy that.
Just one over here, Hamza.
Yeah.
Congrats on the win. It seems like you're next up for the title. What do you envision your title run looking like? Do you want to clear out the middleweight division, or would you prefer to sort of go up to light heavyweight and challenge Alex Pereira?
Bro, I'm talking about 3 belts from a long time ago, so of course I want to go up. But what Dana White, what the UFC wants, I don't know, man. So if they gives me, first I has in my weight class, need to take the belt, so then I gonna think about it as well.
Just one more as well. Obviously, you took down Robert fairly quickly into the fight. Do you feel like if the fight stayed standing, that you would be confident in the striking department against him?
Yeah, of course. I work a lot Thai boxing with my Thai boxing coach, UK Carlson from Sweden. He's been always amazing to me, so he's helping me a lot. So I was sharp. I checked his low kicks, and I think Rob was surprised he couldn't get his kicks on me. So thanks for UK. So I could go in striking as well. So yeah.
Congrats on the win.
Хамзат, прямо напротив тебя. Сегодня было много классных боев на этом турнире. Была ли у тебя возможность посмотреть перед своим боем какие-то бои в этом карде? Или, может быть, ты видел главный бой в этом турнире? Если да, какой-то бой тебе запомнился, понравился сегодня?
There was a lot of very exciting fights today on the entire card. Were you able to watch any of them, and were you able to see the main event at least? Maybe there's a fight that you can remember from today.
Я в основном посмотрел Анкалева, если честно. А так я разминался, как останавливался тренировку и смотрел бой Анкалева. Отличный бой, красавец. Я думаю, он следующий за пояс, и должны этому парню отдать этот титул.
Mostly the Ankalev fight, I was just warming up when he was fighting, so we would stop warming up and kind of watch it. So I think he showed a great fight, and I think that he's the guy that needs to fight for the title next. I think they have to give him the title shot.
And one more question in English. When we spoke to you, the same guy right here, when we spoke to you back in 2020, right after you debuted here in Abu Dhabi, and I asked you, where do you see yourself in a couple of years? You said 100% champion. Obviously things, were difficult for you. And now looking back to your career in UFC, would you have done anything different?
Bro, I can't control what God wills, you know. So God wants I to be sick. So I went through that. So I went there. So I come back to my fight. I win that fight. Thanks God. Whatever He wants, I do. So, but I don't know. I had my plans, but always God has His plans. So we're going after that.
Thank you.
Hamzat over here. Salam. Congratulations on your win. Wanted to get your thoughts on Dricus as a champion, his run so far, and what do you make of his grappling?
What do you think, guys? How I done with this guy, Rob? How he done? Rob took him down. So if Rob took him down, so there is salam alaikum.
And if Dricus and Sean end up rematching, who do you think wins?
What?
If Dricus and Sean Strickland end up rematching, who do you think wins?
Like I said before, a couple of days before, I asked that same question to me. So I think I'm going a little bit at Dricus' side because he has a belt, he's filled the money, and maybe he wants to get more money and thinks he's motivated more than Sean. So Sean being there, Sean being in a lot of wars, and I don't think so he wanted so much Dricus. Well, I don't know, but it's like I think, but it could be wrong.
Thank you.
All right. So tonight was a tough night, obviously, for bonuses. We felt like the fight of the night was the Rebecca fight. Shara, Khamzat, and Topuria. We actually kicked in another. You can't not give those three guys bonuses. And then we'll take care of Ebo, too. He's not getting 50, but he won't be disappointed. Maybe he will. I don't know. Who's got the first question?
Dana, this feels like one of those events that you sort of sit at home thinking about for the next week and just going over all the amazing fights we had tonight. Starting with the main event, you know, there's a lot of questions about Ilia Topuria. Is he as good as he says he is and all that sort of stuff? No one's done that to Max Holloway. Give us your thoughts on his performance and the result.
I agree. We were just talking in the back, you know, as you start to clip off legend after legend after legend, you eventually become a legend. So he looked. Both guys look great tonight. Max came in with the right game plan. I think that the early calf kicks, you know, added up and took their toll later on in the fight. Those things are so devastating when people throw them the right way. And yeah, he couldn't have fought a better fight. Took some big shots himself. Has the chin. Kept coming forward. Incredible performance by both guys. But Topuria did something that nobody's ever done before.
And if you think of the names that Max has fought, right, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, these guys have landed big shots on him before. But for Ilia Topuria, who's not even a particularly big featherweight, how crazy is it that he can generate that much power in his shots?
Yeah, he's legit. If you question a guy after Volk, I mean, you can't question him after tonight. He is legit.
Obviously, Volk did come in the cage. I know we should probably wait until Tuesday, but does that seem like the logical fight to give up since Topuria said he wants to do the rematch as well?
Listen, Volkanovski is one of those guys. We're not going to say no to Volkanovski. He's been that guy for us anytime we needed him. You know, he was on this run like Adesanya and like Alex is on right now when things don't go our way and you got to call a guy. Volkanovski's always been that guy. He really was. And, you know, for him to ask for... nobody. I don't think anybody's in this room going, "Oh, this is ridiculous or crazy," and who wouldn't want to see it again?
Yeah. So, Ilia Topuria's just knocked out Volkanovski, knocked out Max Holloway, two of the best ever in that division, or even in the sport.
Yep.
How does his year rank up to Alex Pereira, who's had so much activity and crazy knockouts himself?
And Islam, you know, I mean, when you look at these guys and these runs they're on, it's incredible.
Khamzat Chimaev obviously did what he does. I think people were a little bit confused at how quick Rob tapped until they saw the images just come out of his jaw. Insane.
And you're right. So as soon as that happened, I picked up the phone and I called the truck, and they're like, "Yeah, his jaw popped," and so I knew what had happened. Because I didn't know what happened either, why he tapped so quick. Because Mick came over and we were like, he didn't even have the choke in. It's weird. Yeah, he popped his jaw. And so it was, you know, when you do that, like it splits and the teeth get all messed up. Rob has that right now.
So is that a dislocation or a break or what exactly?
I don't know yet. It's not good. When your teeth are going, you know, it's not good.
And then after the fight, obviously you ran up and spoke to Khamzat Chimaev on his way out of the ring. Just curious what you got to say to him and what exactly his future could be.
Yeah, I just said congratulations, great fight, and we'll talk to you soon.
Dana, we're here. Was there any update on RDA? Because obviously it looked like he blew his knee out in there.
I think that's what happened, yeah. I don't know exactly, but we're pretty sure he blew his knee out.
Same as Orlby, that they got after that war. Obviously his eye was swollen shut and he somehow kept fighting.
So when you guys were watching that fight, what did you immediately think? Huh?
Doctor stoppage?
Orbital, right? No. It's fucking crazy. Soft tissue swelling. That was it. That's insane. It's incredible. I thought his orbital was destroyed. No. Pretty amazing.
Magomed all week has said that you told him that he needed an impressive performance to get the next title shot. Ankalev, I'm curious what you thought of his victory.
He looked good. He absolutely looked great.
And Shara Bullet, obviously one of the knockouts of the year, probably would be on the short list if it wasn't for Max at 300 with a double spinning back fist. He also wants to seem to fight every week. Like he wants to turn around and fight in Macau, and then he wants to turn around and fight in Saudi Arabia. He's calling out Israel Adesanya. He's just like a promoter's dream, like this exciting fighter that just seems to want to fight every single weekend.
Yes, I love guys like that. And that's how you do it. Listen, if you're that good and you're that confident in yourself, and you get out of a fight and you don't feel all banged up and you're ready to turn around, it's what everybody should do.
And what was there was a bit of a drama with Farid Basharat and his opponent where Basharat was in here, said he had made weight, bantamweight, and then his opponent couldn't make it, so then he agreed to fight him at featherweight. So he weighed in at 137, and his opponent weighed in at like 146. It was that 10-pound difference at the weigh-ins. Like, he said he can't remember a time this has ever happened. Makes weight, still has to fight at featherweight. When did you learn that all that was going down?
Right now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Dana, to go back to Ankalev, he promised coming into this fight he wouldn't shoot a single takedown. He didn't do it. Is this enough to get Alex Pereira his title fight? It's the second longest unbeaten streak in the history of this division behind John Jones.
I would have to say yes.
Yeah. And go back to what Oscar said there about Alex Pereira versus Ilia Topuria. Who would you give your Fighter of the Year award? Alex had the quickest fighter to ever get 3 title defenses, 175 days. Ilia knocking out both these guys. Who would you give it to?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. That's a tough one. I'd have to look at more numbers and stats, but you can't take it away from either one of them what they've done this year. I mean, Alex. When you look at Alex, he's on vacation in Australia, and we call him and packs up and heads home and comes into the fight. I mean, he's built different. That guy.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever see what he just did again for a very long time.
It's like he doesn't even care about a full camp. He doesn't care if he's hurt. He doesn't care about anything. He'll get in there and fight.
Conor McGregor tweeted, "Call me," after the main event.
Lerone just told me that. Yeah, I didn't.
What do you think he's referring to? Max at 155 for the BMF, maybe, or him and Ilia have had a lot of stuff to say to each other in recent months.
I don't know. I think that he did it to get this. We're all sitting here going, "Huh? What did he mean?"
Yeah, and I asked you the other night about at Power Slap about Merab and Umar, and after that, Merab at the Q&A before weigh-ins got asked about Umar, and he got like really upset when someone said he's ducking Umar. Is that the plan to do that fight? Like, is that the next fight you want at bantamweight, Merab versus Umar?
Absolutely.
Okay. And another thing you mentioned at Power Slap the other night was stuff about Francis Ngannou, and that stirred up a lot of reaction from the MMA community and from Francis himself. And he had a very interesting quote. Can I read you a little bit? He said, "He can't handle this loss," referring to you. "I'm sure he's been praying for my downfall." Which money is he talking about? The money that he owes me? They say we're going to give you back pay from the money we owe you from the Stipe and Surreal Gone fights. All that, they never paid me back. Now I've made more money than I would have ever made in the UFC. I would say twice the money in my entire UFC career.
Yeah. When have you ever heard a story in all the years we've been in business, even when it was upside down, where we owed somebody money? Never happened. So he's full of shit there. Then I lost. I didn't lose anything. I was done with Francis after the. He actually owes me money because we had to watch that fight with him and the Black Beast. He should actually pay me back for that fight, and all of you. And me praying for it. Trust me, I don't think about Francis that much. You guys asked me the question about the PFL. And I responded. Other than that, the only one who's praying for his demise is probably the PFL, because they signed a shitty contract with a guy that doesn't deliver any numbers in ticket sales or pay-per-views. So, and they got to keep paying this guy for however long, and good for him. And not good for them.
Yeah, and I know
what was the other question?
It was. I know you said like he's all about the money, but then you also said like he would have made more money to stay here.
And that's a fact. He can play those games all he wants. He would have made more money here.
And just lastly,
let me tell you what. There were 2 guys here. I wanted to cut them. Someday I'll tell you the story. Francis was like, I was all about Francis in the beginning, and then I found out who Francis was, and I told the 2 guys who asked me not to cut Francis. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. And, yeah, believe me, I have no sleepless nights over Francis leaving.
So just 2 more things on this.
Yep.
You wanted to cut him, but he went on to become the UFC heavyweight champion. So I guess what does that say about that thought process? Does it show he should have stayed?
Well, no. I didn't like Francis as a person. Wasn't a guy I wanted to do business with. My boys were telling me he's misunderstood. And I told them, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Yeah, it wasn't about him becoming the heavyweight champion of the world. Francis isn't a good guy. He plays the good guy. I don't understand the language, and so he seems like he's a nice guy. He's not, and he's just not a guy that I wanted to be in business with. Period. End of story. Whether he became the champion or not.
And I assume you don't want to be in business with him ever again, but...
We won't be. We'll never be in business together. You can tell.
Yeah.
We don't like each other. And this goes way back. This goes back to before the first Stipe fight. He pulled some shit before the first Stipe fight, and I said, I'm done with this guy, and then Stipe beat the shit out of him. Great night. And then, we never had a relationship after that.
Well, I know you said John Jones would walk out of any room, so wouldn't it be gratifying to put him in a room with Francis?
He didn't want that fight. He could have stayed and took that fight. He didn't want that fight. Tom Aspinall deserves that fight.
And just one other unrelated thing. Ian Gary posted a couple weeks ago him signing a contract for Colby Covington. He said it was going to be the main event in Tampa. I know you said in the past Colby's never turned down fights. Did he turn down that one? And what's going on with that potential match?
I don't know yet. We're still making. It's not that anybody's turning down fights. You know what I mean? Nobody's turning down fights.
Dana.
Hey, you.
Oh, sorry. Hey, Dana. After seeing 2 weeks ago, you said Sean Strickland will be next for Dricus du Plessis, but after seeing Khamzat's performance tonight, is Strickland still next, or is it going to depend?
It's a good question. Call me on Tuesday.
All right, and just one other one for me. I heard that there are plans of the UFC going to Abu Dhabi more in 2025. Are we just looking at Riyadh and Abu Dhabi when it comes to the Middle East, or could we be looking at other countries in the Middle East at 2025?
Definitely. I mean, we're we you know how it is. We want to take this thing everywhere. So yes, we could be looking at other countries. We're in talks right now, and we want to bring more fights here too.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Дана, поздравляю с очередным крутым турниром. Ты уже доказал, что ММА может конкурировать с боксом, но сейчас параллельно шел футбол. Барселона против Реала. Когда ММА сможет конкурировать с футболом?
Congratulations on another great event. You already proven that you can compete with boxing, but tonight, at the same time that we had the event, there was the big soccer match. When are we going to be able to compete with the giant soccer?
Well, I don't really feel like I compete with other combat sports. I compete with things like soccer and the NFL and college football and the NBA. I mean, that's what we can. Movies. I mean, whatever takes the attention of people on Saturdays is what I compete with.
Я не думаю, что я соревнуюсь с боксом или с какими-то другими видами спорта, боевого спорта. Мне кажется, что я уже соревнуюсь и с большим футболом, и с американским футболом, и с НБА и так далее. Вот это так, и даже с кино, поэтому вот такие вот самые большие вещи, это вот с ними я соревнуюсь.
В четвертый раз за историю UFC бой за титул дали дебютанту Кайо Сакари. Правильно ли я понимаю, что это говорит о кризисе в наилегчайшем весе?
This is the fourth time in the history of the UFC that a debut guy that's debuting is getting a title shot.
What did you say?
Кайо Сакара.
This is the fourth time in the history of the UFC that a debut guy is getting a title shot. Kaiyo Sakara. Does that mean that there's trouble in that division?
No, it means he's a bad motherfucker.
Нет, он просто охуенный.
Когда объявят реванш Царукяна и Махачева?
When is going to be announced the rematch between Tsarukyan and Makhachev?
I don't know.
Не знаю.
Call me on Tuesday.
Во вторник позвони.
И последний от меня вопрос. Совсем недавно на подкасте рассказали о том, что у Шейна Карвина началась деменция. Поможет ли как-то UFC ветерану этого спорта и человеку, который заслуживает быть в зале славы?
There was a podcast that said that Shane Carman had dementia started. Will the UFC help him out somehow for this person who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame?
What's the question? Would we do what?
Would you help him out somehow?
We have been helping him out. We have been working with Shane Carman for a long time.
Мы уже давно ему помогаем, мы уже давно с ним работаем.
Yeah, thank you. Go ahead, ma'am, in the back there. Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Hi,
Hi.
Dana, Christina from Europop. Again, congratulations on a wonderful night of fights. It
Thank
was
you.
amazing. So now you have two champions from Georgia, and one of them today just made history for our country and for UFC as well, made his first title defense. As a person who represents Georgian sports media, I get bombarded with questions that now that we have two champions, will the UFC bring an event, if not in Georgia, then maybe in the region? So are there any plans? I know you've mentioned either Madrid or Barcelona, but are there any plans to bring UFC and just in general have more cards in Europe?
Well, the answer to that is yes. This business is star-driven. So when we have a South African, we want to get to Africa. When we have, somebody from Spain, we want to get into Spain. Georgia, yes. The answer is yes. I don't, we haven't looked into that yet or what it would take to pull off an event near there or whatever. I mean, we're still trying to figure out Spain with the arena situation. But when you look at the performance that Topuria had tonight, we need to get to Spain and figure it out quickly.
Well, we're waiting for you for sure.
Thank you.
Another thing for Max today, I mean, I think we can both agree that Max is the legend of the game, right? And do you, first, one question of that is, why wasn't the BMF title on the line for this fight? And the second part of the question is, are you now more sure of doing the maybe tournament for that belt in up in the lightweight division?
So the Topuria's belt was on the line. Max was trying to take that. I want to say it was like, I don't know, halfway through the second round. I said, shit, we should have put the bad motherfucker title up on this fight too, because these guys are both it. But I don't know. I don't know what we'll do with it yet. But Max still has it. Max holds the title, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, another one. Ilia mentioned wanting to get eventually during his career 3 belts. He defended one today. How realistic do you think that is, given what he has shown us and given the fact that he's only 28 years old?
Yeah, I like when guys absolutely wipe out a division and then you're like, what's next? He's already beat this guy. If the Volkanovski fight happens, beat him twice, he beat Max, he beat this guy, that guy, then you start looking at what's next.
Mm-hmm. And just one last one from me. A couple of days ago, I saw a video of you mentioning that you were very impressed with the new influx of talent, especially female talent in the UFC, and you felt like it's time to create new divisions like atomweight. That is something that I've been very interested in, and I was wondering if there was like any timeline, how serious those plans are, and if they are serious, when can we expect that to happen?
It's a great question, and every time I say something, I'm very serious about it. We were talking about the rankings. We've been working on the rankings. We talked about that. We've been working on that. Mick feels like that division isn't strong enough to actually build right now, but it's something that we're looking at, working on, and figuring out the possibilities, I guess I would say.
Okay, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Dana,
Yep.
here.
Hi.
Hello. After this incredible victory of Ilia Topuria against Max Holloway, can you confirm that Topuria's next fight will be in Spain?
Yeah, I was just saying, we have to get it done. We have to figure this out. I hate going to soccer stadiums. I like arenas better, but if that's what we got to do, then that's what we got to do. But yes, we need to get to Spain.
And after knocking out Holloway and Volkanovski, where does Topuria stand in the UFC featherweight historical ranking?
Well, like I was saying earlier, when you keep clipping legends, legend after legend after legend, you become a legend. So he's on the right path.
Have you said, Dana, that Bernabeu is an option now? Even you hate it?
Did you say that the stadium was announced, even though you hate going to stadiums? Are you announcing that we're going to the stadium?
No.
So you hate it and Bernabeu is not an option?
You guys are the best. The best. No, I did not say. I said if we have to, we will. I would prefer not to, but we haven't done anything yet. As far as where we stand right now is all the arenas were booked up. We're trying to figure it out. But if I have to go to a stadium, I will.
Dana right here.
Thank you.
Hi. First of all, I owe you an apology. I was one of the people that hated Power Slap. I did the commentary in Arabic for them last time, and my God, you're 100% right. We are all wrong. I respect you so much for seriously that Power Slap.
Thank
is
you,
amazing.
sir.
It's like an
No,
MMA.
it's a different experience live.
Especially, it's
Yeah.
entirely different.
Thank you.
Now, for the next year, here for Abu Dhabi and Saudi, I know there, like His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh asked you to add more Power Slap in Saudi. You said one, he said two. What do we expect? How many of them?
How many? Yeah, Power Slap's going everywhere. We had people at that event from all over the place, and yeah, we're going everywhere with Power Slap.
And as far as Africa, are we going North Africa or South Africa? Because
South. We're going to go south first. Looking at other places in the Middle East right now. We're looking to add more in Saudi and more here in Abu Dhabi.
Because there's talk.
And then we're going to Florida Tech.
But one last question for me: the power ranking, is it fixed? Because I know you hate the media being involved, and are you guys fixing the pound for pound ranking?
Oh, we're trying to. Yeah, I'm trying to fix the rankings. Yeah, we've been working on it. I think we have a really good plan in place. I can't really talk about it right now, but when I do, I'll let you know. We got a good plan. Just got to get it done now.
Hi, Dana.
Hi.
Congratulations for a successful event today. What lacks it from our perspective is the number of Arab fighters. We wish to see more Arab fighters fighting, and we would humbly request from you to have Dana White looking for a fight here in Abu Dhabi or maybe in Saudi Arabia. You will see many fighters who are at the top level that we want to test them in the UFC, like Abdurrahman Al-Hiyasat, he's undefeated from Jordan. Abi Saghir, he's based in Michigan, undefeated 6-0 lightweight. We have Muhammad Al-Agra, who is Kuwaiti and training with Khafir Mendez in AKA, undefeated 7-0. So if you can do such thing, we will be blessed with UFC here in the region.
Thank you, sir. Yes, I could see us doing one. We're talking about doing a lot of things here in the region right now. I had meetings since I've been here about doing more. The kid that came up on stage the other day. So the Korean Zombie started his own MMA organization, and he's got a fight like December 14th or 16th, and I'm looking for a fight there. We're going to take that kid, we're going to put him on that show, we'll match make it, we'll pay for the fight, and we'll see if he makes it.
My second question, about Ilia Topuria, in the media they said that in the press conference you did him bad by drinking water and putting the same cup in front of him.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And he was thirsty and...
Yeah, I need to be more aware of... I was thirsty too, but I should have waited till after the press conference. Yeah.
And my final question, before yesterday I saw Muhammad Mokaev, who was competing in ADXC. Some people said that Raul Rosas UFC rejected him to fight Mokaev because they were afraid that he will lose from Mokaev. Was it,
that who would?
Rosas was supposed to fight him.
Yeah, he was supposed
Mokaev.
to fight him for the main event.
Who said that?
We heard in media that...
From who?
UFC rejected him to fight Mokaev in ADXC.
Who'd you hear that from?
So it's,
who?
So UFC didn't reject that he fight in ADXC?
No. So first of all, he wasn't released. He just wasn't re-signed. His contract expired, and there were a lot of issues with him behind the scenes, and some not behind the scenes. That the matchmakers were done with him. Yeah. They were tired of him, and they didn't want to deal with him anymore, so they didn't re-sign him.
Last question about Mokaev. I did an interview with him, and he said that he matured now and he has a good relation with you. But some people maybe are saying like negative things about him to you, and he wish one day that he can be re-signed with UFC. Do you think it may happen?
He said that you guys now have a good relationship, and it's just some other people that are saying that bad things about him to you, but he hopes that the relationship could be mended and one day he could be back in the UFC.
Yeah, listen, I have no problem with him. I've never had a beef with him, but I don't deal with him on a daily basis. If I did, maybe I would. The matchmakers didn't want to re-sign him. Huh? Oh, he lost?
Split decision.
Listen, I got no problem with the kid. PFL should sign him.
Thank you.
Dana,
Thank you.
just over here. Yesterday at the fan Q&A, Merab said that he wants to rematch Sean O'Malley towards the end of this year or early next year. And then you've also got Merab on Twitter saying that Merab is ducking him. Could you provide some clarity on that situation?
Umar said that Merab is docking him, but Merab said that he wants to rematch O'Malley either at the end of this year or the beginning of next year. What's the situation?
Umar. That's what I think.
Umar, because there was some news that came out that he's scheduled to fight Son Yodong. Is there any confirmation to that?
Did we announce it?
No.
Then no.
Just one more as well. With the BMF title, assuming Max goes up for his next fight to lightweight, who comes to mind for a match with him?
I don't even know. Right here, right now, I have no idea. Like I say, we got to fly to New York tonight and then back to Vegas Monday morning. Tuesday we'll be back in the office and we'll start looking at what's next for all these guys.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Dan Hooker.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dana, over here.
Yeah.
Hello. As a fellow Georgian of Ilia Topuria, there's many two champions of the UFC, Merab and Ilia, and also many Georgian fighters in the UFC in overall. The Georgian fans want to know what's your opinion about Georgian fighters in overall, and also the small countries like Georgia and many other countries having fighters in UFC. What's in the water of those countries and what makes those fighters different, in your opinion?
There's two champs from Georgia in the UFC. There's other Georgian fighters in the UFC. What is your opinion about Georgian fighters? And also, since there's so many good fighters from that region, what do you think is in the water that makes them so good?
Yeah, I obviously, when you talk about Georgia now, I mean, to have two guys that are world champions from there is incredible. And anything that ends in Stan, some tough guys are coming from. There's just these parts of the world where these guys are built different, and obviously, sambo and wrestling is a big part of their culture, and yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I always talk about Australia. In 2001 we had Elvis Sinisic. That was the only guy in Australia, and if you look at how far they've come in such a short amount of time in that region, and the same could be said for Georgia. To have two world champions in the UFC, it's almost impossible to become top 5, top 3 in the UFC. But to have two world champions from there, it's incredible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Дану.
Yes.
В первую очередь поздравляю с таким шикарным турниром. Вопрос такой. Сегодня Шара Буллет сотворил историю, оформив первый в истории нокаут двойным бэкфистом. Вот, включил бы ты этот нокаут в топ-3 своих любимых и непредсказуемых нокаутов?
First of all, congratulations on an incredible event. Second of all, tonight Shara Bullet made history by putting in the books the first ever double back fist knockout. Would you include that knockout in the top 3 of all time, most unexpected, amazing knockouts?
100%. That's why I was saying when we did the performance of the night, you could not give the two kids that won fight of the night, and you could not give all 3 guys the bonus that won. Yeah, it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
По-любому, без вопросов, я никогда такого не видел, и невозможно было не дать бонус 2 пацанам, которые сделали лучший бой вечера, но невозможно было не дать бонус всем остальным 3, поэтому одна из самых крутых вещей, которых я когда видел, по-любому.
А готов ли Шара сейчас драться против бойца из топ-10 или топ-5, может?
Do you think Shara is ready for a top 10 or a top 5 fighter?
I don't know. I think that, again, when we get back into the office next week and we'll start putting all this stuff together. I mean, he looked incredible tonight. He looked good. And he beat a real guy, like a tough guy, and did it in spectacular fashion. So the answer is probably yes.
Не знаю, надо будет приехать, вернуться домой, посмотреть, рассмотрим. Но сегодня он выглядел невероятным образом. Сегодня победил настоящего бойца, сильного бойца. То есть, скорее всего, да.
И вот хотел бы ты, чтобы он дрался в Штатах, потому что Шара нам рассказывал, что в некоторых Штатах он может выступать.
Would you like Shara to fight in the States? Because he said that some of the states would allow him to fight.
Yeah, listen, I'd like to travel that guy all over the place, you know. We'll see.
Да, конечно, я бы хотел, чтобы он путешествовал везде. Да, посмотрим.
Да, и последний вопрос, если можно. Чья ММА борьба сильнее, на твой взгляд, Чимаева, который показал яркое выступление, Махачева или Хабиба?
And just a final question, who do you think has the best MMA wrestling? Chimaev, Makhachev, or Khabib?
Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I mean, if you look at what Khabib, achieved in the sport, and it's hard not to say Khamzat either. I mean, that guy came out tonight and, yeah, he looked damn good.
Очень сложный вопрос, потому что нельзя не заметить то, чего добился Хабиб своей борьбой и вообще в UFC. И то, что сделал сегодня Чимаев, тоже неповторимо, поэтому сложный вопрос.
Hey, Dana.
Thank you.
Here to your right.
Yep.
You probably already hate us Spaniards with all these when are you coming to Spain questions, but whether it is an arena or a soccer stadium, what would you need to see from either Barcelona or Madrid to decide on one of the two?
You probably already hate all these questions from the Spanish reporters about whether you come into a soccer stadium or to the arena, but what do you need to see from either Barcelona or Madrid in order for you to make that decision?
Availability. Availability, number one. And I don't hate the questions. I love the questions. I mean, obviously, I want to go to Spain as bad as Spain wants us to come. So we're working on it. We'll get it done. There's never been a time where we said we're going to do something and we don't do it. We figure it out and we'll get it done. And it's important for me to go to Spain in 25. So we'll figure it out.
And would you need a specific number of Spanish fighters to go to our country, or would that be okay with the 4 we have already?
Do you need a specific number of Spanish fighters in order to go to that country?
No, I mean, once you get into a market for the first time, obviously there'll be Spanish fighters on the card, but no, it's not. We need Topuria. Yeah.
Dana, there were 6 undefeated fighters this evening, before this evening. So Ibo was the only one who took somebody's O. I'm right here on your right and far behind. So what do you make of his performance? Did he meet your expectations?
There were 6 undefeated fighters, and Ibo was the only one who took somebody's O. What would you make of his performance?
Yeah. Well, like I said, the other performances, were at such a higher level, but he should have got a bonus tonight too. But we're going to take care of him. We'll take care of him. Like I said when I walked in, it's not going to be 50, but we'll take care of him. He looked spectacular. We moved that to the main event like 2 days before we left the office. And we were all in there talking and felt like, that should be the main event of the prelims.
And how about Ivo and all the other talent?
And he delivered.
Yeah. And how about Ivo and all the other talent around this region? And Istanbul is an option for UFC Istanbul. What do you think about that?
I don't know. Off the top, I would like to think that everywhere in the world is an option for us. But, like I said, a lot of these things are star-driven. When you have a guy who comes from, we go into a market and you have a guy who can potentially be a star or is already a rising star, and you bring him into these markets. Like we have 2 Georgian world champions, right? You had Conor McGregor, who ignited all of Europe and other parts of the world. You got Topuria now, where you're talking about going to Spain. You talk about Duplessis in Africa, and Izzy and Rob, and over in Australia and New Zealand. It's star-driven. We pop up with somebody from Istanbul, I'll see you there. Believe me.
Dana, last for me, only one. I don't know if Ilia Topuria is like a visionary, because he promised, he promised are done. And last week he promised to be champion in 3 divisions. Are you worried about that?
Ilia Topuria is like a visionary. Everything he says, everything he promises comes true. He promised something this last week, it came true today. Now he promised that he's going to be a champion in 3 divisions. Are you worried about that?
Why would I worry about that? That's awesome. I mean, I'm a big fan of manifesting. I mean, all the greats do it. When you look at all the greats that have ever, competed in combat sports, they all tell you what they're going to do. And they usually do it. I love it.
Hi, first of all, congratulations on the great show.
Thank you.
If Ilia's next fight will be in Spain in 2025, is it possible to see two Georgian champions on the same card?
Yeah, anything's possible. Anything is possible.
Will you bring us O'Malley in Spain, or it will be Merab versus Umar?
Umar's next.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Dana. Hey, Dana, to your left.
Yep.
I don't have a question, but I just really want to appreciate what you did to the sport. And I want you to know that even after 100 or 150 years, your name will always be there. So my request is never stop what you're doing. Keep making this as big as you can and never retire. Always stay there. You are not allowed to retire.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, Dana.
Go ahead, brother.
Right.
Yep.
From Leader Sport. First of all, congratulations again on the amazing card.
Thank you.
Featherweight is full of killers. You have Ilia, you have Volkanovski, Holloway, Diego Lopez, Evloev. Would you say it's the toughest division right now to compete in?
Yeah, it's one of them. It's one of them. I think there's a few tough divisions right now.
Another question, Ilia's brother, Aleksandar Topuria, is also signed with the UFC. Any news maybe about his future opponent?
No clue. No, not right here off the top of my head. No.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys done with me? Have a great night. Thanks a lot.
Okay, Max. First of all, thank you for coming back to speak to us. I'm sure it can't
Of course.
be easy. Look, obviously that's not the way you thought it was going to go. So give us your thoughts on the fight and how you performed, how he performed, and everything you're thinking.
Man, I felt great. I felt great. I was finding my groove. We saw on the scoreboards after. I was kind of surprised by it. I thought I had it. I thought I had at least one of them. You know, the first one I know he took me down. So, and then at the ending he had that takedown. So it is what it is. I felt good. Showing off my hands. I was landing. I was being fast. I think I had him surprised in there. And like I said, I was doing good until I wasn't.
Right, so obviously he did get the knockout, right? But before that, he'd landed some shots. Did he feel any stronger or more powerful than other guys you faced? Did it just suddenly surprise you that he managed to land that?
Nah, not at all. Not at all. The first couple rounds, he landed a couple right hooks, left hooks. He took me down. He didn't feel too strong. And, you know, gave him inches, man. Gave him inches. He landed something that I found myself looking at him up from the ground. So it is what it is.
Obviously, you know, like everyone's always on about the chin, stuff like that. You mentioned earlier this week you care a lot about your brain health and stuff like that. Is the plan now just take a little time off and recover properly? We've seen guys rush back in there and maybe too soon. What's your plans moving forward?
I mean, I'm going to sit down with the team. relax. There's nothing needed to be rushing back right now, you know. Probably try to come back summer. Big July card, right? In Vegas, do something. We'll see what happens. I mean, 55 looks really good right now.
You know, obviously Ilia's had a fantastic year and a fantastic run, right? He got Volk, he got you. How do you rate him? You know, everyone's going to be starting looking at him as the next thing in featherweight. Obviously, he's got a rematch Volk, but how do you rate him, having been in there with him, compared to some of the other guys you faced?
He's good. He's good, you know, but I mean, I can't say too much. He won. That's why. But it's like any other guy, you know. You go out there, you can figure out a way to beat him. It wasn't nothing like. It wasn't something like I was scratching my head all along, like, oh, well, what to do this, do that. You guys saw the fight. I felt good in there. I felt great until I didn't. You know, he landed the perfect shot.
Thanks again for coming to speak to us, man.
Yeah, man.
Hey Max, Yusuf here. It was a great fight, great job. My question, Masvidal got the BMF title, then he was knocked out. Gaethje the same, then you the same. Do you feel that BMF belt is cursed?
Nah. I mean, no, I don't feel like it. I mean, that's just a weird coincidence, I would say.
Okay, thank you.
Max, you mentioned 55 looking good. Do you feel like that would be a permanent move for the rest of your career?
I'm gonna sit down with my team. We see, you know, like I said, I had the best 45 cut here, but I mean, what else was there to do? You know, I had a couple of times to reclaim it. New guys coming up, yeah, that'd be fun. But I think 55 looks more fun as fighting. Just more the caliber and everyone there and the names there is look really exciting to put my name in the mix.
Sure. You're a legend, brother. Thank you for
Thank you,
coming
brother.
back.
Just over here, Max. I noticed you were very kick heavy throughout the fight while it lasted. What was the game plan going in against Ilia?
Just mixing it up. That's it, you know. He kicked. We know he liked kicking. I kicked him. I punched him. We just wanted to be a complete mixed martial artist, you know, so that's what we was doing.
Thank you, Max.
Max, hi. Right over here in front. Again, thank you so very much for this wonderful performance and for the wonderful career. So I have an unusual question. Your theme song, walkout song today, it started with Pain's theme from Naruto.
Yeah.
Could you share what was the thought behind that?
I just loved it. I loved it when Pain intro always came in Naruto. It was just cool. It was great. He had his moment too, and yeah, that's just it. I just loved it. Me and my wife is a big Naruto fan. We listened to it and it was like, this is the song. This is what we're gonna walk out to.
Okay, yeah. And another thing, were you surprised by Ilia's grappling? Did you expect him to grapple?
Yeah, I thought he was gonna shoot. I didn't want to say too much because I wanted him to think I didn't have no idea, but we was getting ready for him to shoot in the first round, and he did. And when he took a shot, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, let's see how he is. When he's on top of me, he didn't feel too strong. I was able to get up. I was irritating him, peppering him. I was able to stand back up, and then I think he just was trying to use it as a, look, I can take you down and try to box, but I think him not being able to hold me down kind of frustrated him.
Okay, and one more from me. You fought both Volkanovski, obviously, and now Topuria as well. Dana mentioned that probably a rematch with Volk is next for Ilia. Just want to hear your thought on how you potentially see this fight playing out.
Man, they're both different fighters. They're both good in their own ways. I can see Volk winning the fight in different ways, and then I can see Ilia winning the fight in different ways, you know. Both top-notch guys, both deserve to be fighting for the title. You know, Ilia deserves to be a champion right now, so I can't wait, you know. That should be a fun fight.
Thank you.
Matt Sword here. First of all, I just want to say thank you for your beautiful career. After the fight, you and Ilia shook hands and talked to each other. Can you share us what you said to each other?
I just told him congrats, you know. He's telling me I'm a legend, you know, all that talk that he does, I think he just does it for you guys, you know. He seems like a really good, cool guy, so at the end of the day, he's just being nice, you know, telling me I was a legend, telling me he he watched my career coming up, and he takes a lot of inspiration. Him and his brother. His brother is nice and cool, so it is what it is. You know, it's a media game. That's the way he wants to play it. That's the way he plays it. But behind the scenes, he's a cool guy.
Yes, and also to say that one judge gave you the first round. Can you share us what was your mind after the first round?
I felt good, man. I felt good in there. I was landing shots. I was feeling good. I thought we had the second round too. You know, I know he landed some big shots, but I was a little bit more busy. I was landing my shots. But you never know. You know, you can't. You know, like the great Burt Watson said, never leave that shit in the judges. They'll make you cry. And it didn't have to even go that there. You know, he landed the perfect shot, and you know, kudos to him.
And one last question from me. You mentioned 155 many times. Should we expect more of your fights in the 155 after that?
Yeah, you know, I'm going to sit down with my team, like I said, and talk to them. And 55 is looking good, man. Like I said, I had to give up ramen for this camp. I want to get back on that ramen diet, man.
Thank you.
Sorry, Max, just one more.
Yeah,
I know you had good praise for Ilia there. Dana was in here. He said you are still the BMF champion, but Ilya's strutting around backstage with the UFC belt on one shoulder and his BMF one on the other. Just your thought on that.
I mean, it is what it is. It is. It wasn't, could you imagine Islam walking around with 2 belts after knocking out Volk? Let that sink in, you know? The belt was in a different weight class for a different reason. I think the fans make it happen. If the UFC really wanted to make it happen, they would have put it up, and I don't know why they didn't, but Dana said what he said, so he's the boss man, you know?
Hi, Max. To your left. To your left.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, hard luck. You fought a very nice and a good fight.
Thank
but
you.
As you said, it's a game of inches. I understand that you've mentioned that you're looking at 55 right now, 155 right now, but a match against Diego Lopez, does it interest you?
See what happens, you know? Never say never. It only interests me if I can get right back to the title shot. It would make no sense to take out another contender, and I gotta go fight another contender, and fight another contender, and then get to fight Topuria or Volk, whoever wins, you know? So, I mean, we see what happens, you know? If I had to put my UFC cap on, Topuria's not turning around in Feb. I guarantee to make Volk and Diego fight for an interim title, and then maybe later in the year they'll fight. So I think Lopez is already taken.
Can I have a suggestion, please? I hope it's not Dustin Poirier's last fight, but I think if you can be his last fight and get one back, it would be sad, but at the same time, you know, a win for you.
Hey, that'd be nice. The Diamond, sign me up, bro. I love that guy. I got nothing but respect for the guy, but he is up 2-0 against my ass, and I don't have the best luck against people who's 2-0 against me, so I guess I got to try it again.
I mean, he doesn't have a UFC belt, so the BMF can be something
Hey,
tempting for him.
hey, I like the way you think, bro. UFC needs to hire your ass.
Thank you, man.
Да, приветствую, Макс. Вот в случае твоей победы сегодня ты потенциально мог бы сразиться с Исламом Махачевым. Вот интересно услышать твое мнение по поводу теперь потенциального боя между Ильей Топурией и Исламом Махачевым.
Had you won tonight, there was a potential that you might have been going up and fighting Islam Makhachev for a championship. What do you think now that Ilia won tonight? Do you think that makes sense for him to fight Makhachev?
I mean, I don't know. You know, I saw Dana White talk about it. Dana White said that Ilia got a lot of contenders here, so we see what happens. You know, I think so. Certain situations come up for certain fighters because of certain workload that they do. So at the end of the day, if he gets it, that's cool. But probably not. He has Volk and Diego, you know, rhyming down the door right now. So I think they might keep him down here.
Дана Вайт сказал, что у него все еще много оппонентов, много соперников в его весовой категории, поэтому, не знаю, может быть, да, но в принципе у него еще есть и Волк, и Диего Лопес, с которым нужно сначала подраться, а потом может быть.
Да, вопрос заключался в прогнозе. Вот, я хотелось бы услышать его прогноз на этот бой потенциально.
The question is also in the prediction. Potentially, if they did fight Ilia versus Makhachev, what would you think? Who would win?
I mean, bro, it's hard to go against Islam. You know, it's hard to go against him. His fighting style is a tough one. You know, he likes wrestling. He likes striking now. He's falling in love with his striking. So I mean, it's hard to bet against Islam.
Сложно против ислама загадывать, потому что у него отличная борьба, поэтому, скорее всего, против ислама сложно.
Да, и последний вопрос. Сегодня было очень много крутых, ярких боев. Какие он успел посмотреть, какие для него запомнились?
There's a ton of cool fights today. Did you get to see any of them? Do you remember any of them? Did you see anything?
No, I wasn't able to watch any of them. I mean, I saw some of the Rakic one, and then I saw from the locker room, we saw Khamzat's one. That guy squeezes unreal, right? I saw Robert's teeth. Is that a real picture? That's a real picture, yeah? Bro, that's... What the hell? How hard is he squeezing, bro? That's crazy.
Нет, не особо ничего не видел особо. Чуть-чуть увидел бой Рачича и увидел бой Хамзата. И, у Роберта правда такая челюсть? У него правда с зубами это произошло? Как сильно он сжал ему челюсть?
Hey, thank you, guys. You guys gonna see me back? This is not a funeral, guys, I promise.
Are you going to translate in Spanish also or no? No, let's try on that. No, but yes or no, because it's live on the radio and it's going to destroy you.
No, I don't know enough to try.
I'm live, of course. Because I'm live on the radio and you kill me, you translate, okay?
I only know enough to order a sandwich.
But for Russian, he's the best translator.
Yeah, I can tell. Sounded good.
Ilia.
Hello. Kaki marchot qodas.
Ilia right here.
Ilia.
Congrats. You lived up to your promise to be the first person to knock out Max Holloway. Just how does it feel knowing, another prediction you forecasted came to life?
Muy usual. ¿Cómo se diría eso en inglés?
Very normal, very
normal,
mundane.
Yeah, it feels Monday. It feels like in Monday. I don't know. I call this because I knew it. It's a surprise for a lot of people, but for me, it's like I knew it. I said it and I did it.
Was there anything about the fight that surprised you at all as it went? I mean, I know you thought he wasn't going to meet you in the middle when you pointed,
This
but
is what surprised me, that I pointed the ground and he didn't stop with me in the middle of the octagon, and he started some bullshit like this. It was like, you call yourself the bull. When you called me out, you said, I'm the bull, y el matador is running from me. You never see a bull doing this, right? So, yeah, that surprised me a little bit. So I had to change the game plan a little bit, but at the end of the day, I get the knockout.
is that why you brought the BMF belt today after the fight, because he did not do that?
I never understand the fact that why they didn't put the BMF belt on the line. It has to be on the line since the first day, but they don't want to make it official. I'm going to make it official by myself.
Dana wasn't here, and he did say that Max is still the BMF champion. So
yeah, it's gonna be a little bit weird from them to promote him as a BMF, but it is what it is. No problem. I'm gonna keep it in my house.
The BMF champion has been knocked out in their next fight every time they've
That's
won
right.
that.
Now, I'm the baddest motherfucker world champion.
Dana, when he was in here as well, he said the rematch with Aleksandar Volkanovski is going to be next. He met you in the cage. I know it's a lot of respect between you two. Is that the fight you think is the right matchup to make for your next title defense?
Yeah, to be honest, at this point, there's no one else that deserves the shot more than Volk, right? He's been a great champion. He's a legend in the featherweight division, so he deserves the shot without any doubt. So, but at the same time, it's that I'm gonna take a small break. So we'll see. We'll see how the things will going on in the featherweight division. Maybe he accepts a fight with some new contender and it doesn't play out like he is planning, and I'm gonna have to face someone else. I don't know.
Would you be okay if Alex fought Diego Lopez for an interim title in February?
That's not my business. I don't care. When I'm gonna be ready, I'm just gonna ask the UFC when, where, who is the opponent, and I will be there, and I'm gonna do the same thing as always.
Would your break be longer than February? Because I know you had said on media day before you spoke with us that you would be okay to go into Australia, and then you told us that you're not down for it.
I'm 27 years old. You know, I don't have any prisa, ¿cómo sería en inglés?
Hurry.
Hurry? Yeah, I don't have any hurry. I'm 27 years old, a world champion. I just defend my belt, so I want to go step by step. You know, the concept I always follow is that the slowest, the fastest way to get where you want to be. So I want to choose my steps very, very carefully.
Congratulations.
Ilia.
I'm curious, one of the judges in front, dead center, one of the judges gave the first round for Max. I'm curious how you feel about that.
I'm never concentrate on the scores, to be honest. I'm always looking for the finish, so I don't care about that.
And we saw Sergio Ramos enter the octagon. You handed him the belt. What was it like celebrating with him?
This celebration is not over. The celebration is not over. We're gonna keep celebrating after this press conference. Trust me, it's gonna be much better than the one you saw inside the octagon.
And I'm sure you saw, but Real Madrid won 4-0 in El Clasico today. So
They won 4-1?
4-0.
4-0?
Yeah.
They
lost. They lost. They lost.
They
I
lost.
messed up. I lost. I mixed them up. It's my fault.
No way. No problem. Ala Madrid, anyways.
Okay, Ilia, აკეთ. პირველ რიგში მინდა მოგილოცო გამარჯვება. შესანიშნავი ბრძოლა იყო. ჩვეულებრივ გამარჯვებას შენგან არ ცველოდებოდით, ზუსტად ამის სიმბოლოგი მქონდა.
ჩვეულებრივ გამარჯვებას.
So my next question will be in English. What did it feel to knock out a guy who has never been knocked out?
მაგარი кайფია რა.
კიდე ერთი შეკითხვა მაქვს შენთან. უამრავი ქართველი გულშემატკივარი იყო ჩამოსული შენს საგულშემატკივროდ. რამე ხომ არ გაქვს მათთვის?
შემოველო ჩემი თავი, მინდა მადლობა გადავუხადო ყველა იმ ადამიანს, ვინც დრო და მithმოდა ჩემს სანახავად ჩამოვიდა იმის რომ ხარი დაეჭირა ჩემთვის. გულის მინდა მადლობელი ვარ ყველასთან და რავი, რა ვთქვა, ეს გამარჯვება არა მარტო მე, არამედ მთლიან საქართველოს ეკუთვნის და იმედია ამ მაგალითს ბევრი ბავშვი გამოიყენებს იმისთვის, რომ აზრი არ აქვს, საიდან მოდიხარ, თუ იცი საითკენ მიდიხარ, ასე რომ გაუმარჯოს საქართველოს.
მადლობა.
Ilia. Yeah, congratulations on the win. November 2019, your final fight before you got signed to the UFC. I was there in Bahrain watching you fight. That was your first knockout win. Before that, it was all submissions. And it seems like you've fallen in love with your boxing ever since then, and you've done some incredible things. Was it that moment of tasting the knockout win, or is it something that you decided that you wanted to change in your fighting style?
This is something that I decided to change in my fight style, because before that I had all submissions, so I was starting to find some problems inside the octagon, because all my opponents were expecting from me takedowns in the ground game. So I was like, I have to be a very complete fighter. I don't have to have any holes in any area of the game, in the striking or in the ground game or in the wrestling. I have to be a very complete fighter. So since that moment when I felt the knockout, I was like, I have the power, so I have to keep working on that, and I'm going to be a very, very complete fighter and very, very hard to beat.
And yeah, because you've used your boxing most of your fights. I know we saw some of your grappling against Bryce Mitchell. You took Max Holloway down in round 1. Was that part of your game plan to take him down, or is that just something you saw in the fight?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's mixed martial arts. What we do, it's not only boxing or only striking. So I shot the takedown because lo voy a decir en español, ¿vale? Porque en inglés como que quería que no solamente estuviera concentrado en la pelea del pie, que también estuviera pensando que podía venir algún derribo, porque eso después me iba a ayudar a desarrollar una mejor estrategia de pie y me iba a dar más opciones para conectarle más golpes limpios, porque podría comerse más mis fintas.
Yeah, I didn't want to just keep the fight standing. I wanted to keep my game plan open and look at the fight as a whole, because I thought I could use a little bit more of my strategies, use a little more of my feints up top.
And one last one for me. Did anything surprise you in terms of his approach, his game plan, his striking, the exchanges that you guys had?
Not at all. Not at all, to be honest. I was the thing that I was expecting from him, that he wouldn't be easy, because he's a great striker. He proved that many times inside the octagon. He's one of the best strikers in the featherweight division and in the UFC. Very patient inside the octagon. Very good rounded in the striking. So I was expecting all the good things from him, but at the same time, I know how I can handle all that kind of things inside the octagon.
Thank you.
Just over here, Ilia. In a hypothetical fight against Islam, how do you see that fight going? If it goes to the ground, do you feel confident that you could out-grapple him, or would you try to keep it standing?
My mindset, it's always the same. I'm always looking to achieve things that no one could. So someone could submit him. I will be the first one to submit him.
Any specific submission?
Now I heard some love from some idiots, but it's gonna happen.
Ilo, შენ ჯამარჯვნივ. ილო ცო ჯამარჯვებას. მთელი საქართველოს შენ თამაყოს მინდა დადიასტურო. 20-20 მოყოლებული ყოველთვის ჯერ მესიჯად მიზონედი ხოლმე რომელ რაუნდში დაანოკაუტებდი შენს მეტოქეებს. სამშაბათს უკვე პირისპირ ინტერვიუში ჩავწერეთ ისტორიულად აბუ-დაბიში შენთვის. რა იგრძენი Holloway-ის დაანოკაუტების შემდეგ პირველ წამებში?
რა ვიგზენი, ძალიან ემოციური მომენტი იყო, სიმართლე რომ გითხრა, იმის და მიუხედავად რომ ეჭვი არასდროს მეპარებოდა, რომ ეგ მომენტი მოვიდა და დადგებოდა და პირველი ადამიანი გავხდებოდი, რომ დავანოკაუტებდი, მაინც ის მომენტი როცა დგება, რომ უკვე რეალობაში მოდის ეს ყველაფერი, ძალიან ამაღელვებელი მომენტია, რომ უცებ ხვდები, რომ ვოლკანოვსკი Max Holloway ერთი წლის განმავლობაში დაანოკაუტე. უმაგრესი გრძნობა.
რა მომენტში ძენი უშუალოდ, როდესაც მივხვდი რომ ნოკაუტის დრო ახლოვდებოდა, იმიტომ რომ პირველი რაუნდი გავიდა, მეორე რაუნდიც
პირველი რაუნდი გავიდა, მაგრამ ფეხი მაგრად ვატკინე, ქაფქიქებით. მაგრად და უკვე მე თან ჭიდაობას რო ჩავრთე, უკვე ძალიან გადავრთე. უკვე არ იცოდა ვეჭიდავებოდი, არ იცოდა წიხლებით შეუტევდი, უკვე მეტი საშუალება მეძლეოდა, რომ ჩემი დარტყმები უფრო უკეთესად ჩამესვა. და ვიცოდი რომ მომენტი დადგებოდა, რომ გაჩერდებოდა ერთ მომენტში და უკვე მომეცემოდა იმის შანსი, რომ კომბინაციები განმეხორციელებინა.
როგორც BMF-ის ჩამრის მფლობელი Max Holloway, შენ შესთავაზე პირველად წამში ოქტაგონის ცენტრში დადგომა. გასაძებია უკვე რატომ აღარ დადიდია პირველად წამში წინ ოქტაგონში.
მესამე რაუნდში გავიგეთ, ხო?
Ilia, en directo para España, Ilia, mira toque izquierda, por favor. En directo para el partidazo de Cope. Lo primero, enhorabuena, campeón invicto. No sé cómo te sientes.
Bien, súper bien, la verdad. ¿Qué te puedo decir? Espectacular.
Puedes decir que eres un hombre de palabra. Nadie había noqueado a Max Holloway, pero nadie no es Ilia Topuria.
Así es. Se dudaba, pero una vez más lo he demostrado.
Y luego, ¿ahora qué? Porque acabamos de preguntar a Dana White, dice que viendo lo que has hecho esta noche hay que ir a España sí o sí, y ojo, porque ha abierto la puerta de nuevo al Bernabéu, me ha dicho exactamente, aunque odio los estadios y no quiero ir al Bernabéu, si tengo que ir, iré.
Es un grande, por eso tengo una conversación pendiente con él que me sentaré próximamente y lo intentaré convencer porque yo lo entiendo al mismo tiempo, ¿sabes? Porque es un estadio súper grande, él lo que quiere es como generar un buen espectáculo, darle una buena experiencia a todos los fans y al final del día tú piensas si pones un octógono dentro del Bernabéu, los luchadores se ven como hormigas, ¿sabes? Desde arriba. Pero bueno, tiene más que otras razones para así hacerlo, entonces hay que sentarse con él, que dé también sus argumentos por qué no le gusta y tal, y a lo mejor, bueno, al final se decide en otro sitio, pero yo empujaré hacia el Bernabéu. El que tiene la experiencia, el que se sabe cómo se hacen los eventos es él.
Y el rival, tú das por hecho que es Volkanovski, pero acaba de escribir McGregor que le llames. Sería una pelea increíble.
Que lo llame. Para
Sí, sí.
tomar copas será, porque para pelear...
No le ves, ¿no? No le ves preparado.
Pero ¿qué le veo? Igual de peleador que que lo tengo aquí enfrente.
Y la última, no sé si sabes lo que le ha pasado a tu Madrid, 0-4. ¿Prefieres que hoy no te hable de fútbol o...?
No, mejor lo dejamos a la Madrid de todas formas. Estamos en las victorias y en las derrotas.
Gracias, Ilia.
Ilia, to your left, congrats on your first title defense and on your BMF belt. I am just very curious, between the rounds you were sipping tea or coffee. What did that mean exactly?
I don't know, to be honest, why I did that, but it came out from my soul.
იგო დავარწმუნოთ რა თუ შეიძლება დავასრულებ რამდენიმე კითხვით. ბოდიში რომ ასე მოხდა. დანიელ კორმიემ რაღაც კითხა 2 ბრძოლის შემდეგ და ორივე მიცინეთ, შეიძლება გითხრა?
რაც მითხრა იყო რომ წარმოიდგინეო რომ ერთ წელიწადს ვინმე მოსულიყავო და ჯერ მე დავენოკაუტებინე და მე ჯონ ჯონსიო. მომილოცა მე.
ძალიან ბევრი გულშემატკივარი იყო ნამდვილად ეტიჰედ არენაზე შეჭრებილი. ისმოდა როგორც შენი სახელის სტრანდირება, ასევე საქართველოს სტრანდირება. გესმოდა ეს ყველაფერი ოქტაგონში.
რა თქმა უნდა რომ ესმოდა. როგორ არ მესმოდა გამოცხადების მომენტში ისეთი სიჩუმეა რომ ყველაფერი გესმის და ყველა ემოცია მოდის.
და ბოლო კითხვა ჩემიდან, რა თქმა უნდა გასაძებია შენ ახლახან სიბრძოლე და უნდა აიღო დრო და ისვენო. გითხარი, როდი შეიძლება ველოდოთ შენს მას ალექსანდრე თოპურიას შეიჩი, იმიტომ რომ დიდი ხანია უკვე UFC-სთან მოვაწერა ხელი და ქართული გულშემატკივარი და ისევე როგორც მთელი მსოფლიო ველოდება შენისთვის დებიუტს.
არ მგონია რომ იანვარს გადასცეს ალექსანდრის დებიუტი. დეკემბერი იანვარი როგორც მაქსიმუმ ანუ მომზადებული არის უკვე შეუძლია ხვალვე იბრძოლოს. ძალიან მაგარ ფორმაში არის და რავი იმედია დეკემბერი იანვარში.
მადლობა დიდი გილოცავ კიდევ ერთხელ.
შეიძლება.
Илья, я тебя приветствую. Поздравляю тебя с титулом. Перед тем, как ты завоевал титул, за несколько дней до боя у тебя было интервью в интернете, где ты посягнул на одно из самых святых для людей из СНГ и Кавказа, это на улицу. Ты сказал, что ты, если встретишься с Исламом Махачевым на улице, ему понадобится больница. Вопрос в следующем. Ты родился в Германии, а в 15 лет уже переехал в Испанию. Что ты можешь знать об улице? Спасибо.
Question to Ilia. First of all, congratulations on winning the title. And before the title match, there was a couple of weeks ago when you were asked a question about a fight with Makhachev, and you said something about if we have to fight on the street, then I would have to pay his medical bills. The question is, what do you know about the street, because you were born in Germany and then you moved to Spain? So what would you know about it?
ვინ მოიყვანა ეს აქ?
არ ვიცი.
ვინ ხარ ბიჭი?
Can you speak in English, please? Thank you.
ქართულად დაიჭირე ტრადუქტორი და გადათარგმნე. გადაუთარგმნეს რამე ქართულად ამას უთხარი. ხო.
Ilia just asked who bring this guy in this room.
I've come by myself.
So you're going to have to stand up and leave the room by yourself.
Why is that?
Ilia, მოდი რა, ესენი არგუმენტი. გილოცავ პირველ რიგში ხმა აღარ მაქვს, იმდენი ვიყვირე და როგორც შენ არ გეპარებოდა ეჭვი რომ დღეს Max Holloway-ს ნოკაუტები ისე ვიყავი მეც და ძალიან ბედნიერი ვარ რომ ეხა უკვე ესეთი რეკორდი გაქვს, ასე ვთქვათ, ისტორიაში. პირველ რიგში, შენი პირველი ქამრის დაცვა იყო? რა განსხვავებაა კონტენდერ თოფურიასა და ჩემპიონ თოფურიას შორის? ამას ჩვენ მივხედავთ, არ ინერვიულობ, შენ კარგად იყავი?
Street fighter. სიმართლე გითხრა, არანაირი განსხვავება არ არის. ყოველთვის ესე ვგრძნობდი ჩემს რავი, შინაგან სამყაროში თავს, რომ მსოფლიო ჩემპიონი ვიყო, ყველაზე მაგარი ვიყავი და დროის ფაქტი იყო, რომ ამას ყველანი რო გაიგებდნენ, იმიტომ რომ ვიცოდი რამდენ შრომობდი, რამდენ მუშაობას ვდებდი ამ პროექტში, რომელიც ჩემი ოცნება იყო და რავი, ბევრი არაფერი არ შეცვლილა, იგივე ილია ვარ, რაც რავი, როგორიც გამიცნე საქართველოში და როგორიც ეხლა ვარ აქ თქვენ წინაშე.
როდესაც მოხვედი?
Muy buenas, Ilia, enhorabuena por esta espectacular victoria. Álvaro Colmenero para el diario ABC. Te quería preguntar por los dos primeros asaltos, Ilia, le estabas buscando, estabas cortando la distancia con más Holloway, estaban llegando esas manos, pero realmente no lograbas derribar la suelo. ¿Ha habido algún momento que hayas pensado, bueno, es que a ver si de verdad va a tener un mentón de hormigón y va a ser complicado acabar noqueándolo?
No, para nada, porque no le había alcanzado con ningún golpe realmente significativo. Realmente salió a hacer lo que yo esperaba que hiciera, ¿sabes? Apunté hacia el suelo, él se movió alrededor del octógono mucho, después intentó como yapearme, tirarme algunas patadas en el medio, pero sabía que poco a poco iba a llegar el momento en el que se iba a tener que parar porque le había lastimado la pierna con los calf kicks, con las patadas al gemelo. Después había metido una marcha de lucha para que también estuviera concentrado en que en la pelea no solamente iba a ir al striking, entonces le di bastantes distracciones para que yo después pudiera desarrollar mis combinaciones realmente bien de pie, ¿sabes? Y que no estuviera realmente cómodo en ningún lado, que dijera, bueno, me está pegando aquí, pero puede ser que venga un derribo o puede ser que me patee. Entonces, al final, son artes marciales mixtas, tienes que saberlo mezclar bien.
Le he preguntado a Deina si tu siguiente combate iba a ser sí o sí en España, que ya era hora, ¿no?, de que vayan aterrizando en nuestro país, y me ha respondido, necesitamos ir a España. Entiendo que el siguiente combate ya será allí. Si tuvieras que elegir una ventana temporal, ¿cuándo te apetecería que fuera? ¿En verano? ¿Después de verano? ¿Quieres parar un tiempo?
Es que, ¿sabes? Ahora mismo es lo que te digo, pensar en pelea después del recorte de peso, después de todo, se me hace un poco complicado, ¿sabes? En verano me gustaría estar más de vacaciones con mi familia. Después del verano, después de las vacaciones, pelear es un poco jodido. Entonces tendría que ser antes del verano.
Bueno, pues antes del verano esperamos verte, Ilia. Luego también le he preguntado a Deina sobre si, bueno, que al final te has impuesto a Holloway, te has impuesto a Volkanovski, dos leyendas, que si te consideraba en el top de la división histórica dentro del peso pluma, y ha dicho, si ganas una leyenda y otra leyenda, te conviertes en una leyenda. ¿En qué posición crees que estás tú actualmente dentro de la división a nivel histórico?
No, es que no me gusta decir ese tipo de cosas, me gusta que ese tipo de cosas me lo diga la gente, los fanáticos de las MMA, la gente que se dedica a ello. Yo vengo y hago mi trabajo, yo siento que soy el mejor del mundo, cada vez que se me pone a prueba intento y lo demuestro, así que ya que te pongan en un pedestal de eres uno de los mejores de la historia, eso ya no sería ni siquiera bonito de mi parte decirlo.
Y ya para terminar, hemos visto cómo compartías en redes sociales antes del combate un vídeo con muchos niños mandándote apoyo. Y sé que uno de tus objetivos es ser una inspiración para ellos. ¿Crees que de aquí a un tiempo las artes marciales mixtas van a ser un deporte que se enseñe directamente en las escuelas, como se hace tradicionalmente con el judo, por ejemplo?
Podría serlo, ¿por qué no? La verdad que sí, estaría súper bien, porque es lo que te digo, a las artes marciales mixtas mucha gente lo asocia con la violencia y todo, y es totalmente lo contrario. La gente que practica artes marciales mixtas después es la gente más noble y, vamos, la que más paz transmite que otros, ¿no? Entonces, sería una buena idea. Nunca lo había visto de esa forma, pero se podría plantear.
Muchísimas gracias, Ilia, y enhorabuena por esa victoria.
Muchísimas gracias.
Ilia, sobre tu hermano.
Ilia გამარჯობა. კიდევ ერთხელ გილოცავ მთელი გულითა და სულით, აი სიტყვებით აღუწერელია უბრალოდ აი სიამაყის გრძნობა, რომელსაც ახლა განვიცდით და საქართველოში რა ხდება, წარმოგიდგენია ალბათ. მოკლედ, გადასარევი პერფორმანსი იყო. ხორგერჩევია ინგლისურად დაგისვა თუ ქართულად გავაგზავნო?
შენ როგორც გისმენ, შენ
კი ბატონო, გავაგზავნოთ მაშინ ქართულად. ზოგადად დეტალურად თუ შეგიძლია მოგვიყვე მაგალითად რა გეიმპლენი გქონდა მაქსთან ბრძოლის დროს, რა გეგონა რომ იქნებოდა მაგალითად ყველაზე ისეთი სარისკო ან რაღაც მთავარი აქცენტები რაზე
ყველაზე
გქონდათ?
სარისკო რაც მეგონა რომ შეიძლებოდა რომ მომხდარიყო და რასაც ვიცოდი რომ დარწმუნებით გავაკეთებდი იყო აი პირველი 10 წამი რომ გამოვიწევდი პირველ 10 წამში. მაგრამ იმასაც ველოდებოდი რომ არ მიიღებდა ჩემს გამოწვევას და უფრო დისტანციიდან დამიწყებდა ბრძოლას და ეგრეც მოხდა. მე პირველ რაუნდში ჩემი გეიმპლანი იყო რომ ჭიდაობაც ჩამერთო, ცოტა წიხლებით ჩამერთო, რომ უფრო კარგად შემეძლო მე ჩემი კომბინაციების განხორციელება ჩხუბის დროს, იმიტომ რომ იგივე არ არის, როცა მარტო სტრაიკინგს რო ჩხუბობ და მეტოქე არ გზნობს, რომ შეიძლება ტეიქდაუნი წამოვიდეს ან წიხლი წამოვიდეს, როცა უკვე ყველაფრის შიში გაქვს და კონცენტრირებას ვერაფერზე ვერ აკეთებ. ასე რომ ძირითადი გეიმპლანიც ეგ იყო.
კი ბატონო და კიდევ ერთი კითხვა მაქვს, ესე იგი ზოგადად დეინა უაითი რო იყო შემოსული, ვკითხე რატო არ იყო BMF კამარი ამ მატჩში გათამაშებული ოფიციალურად და მისი პასუხი იყო ამ ბრძოლას რო უყურე პირველი კითხვა საკუთარ თავს რაც დაუსვე, ეგ იყო ზუსტად რატო არ გავათამაშეთო. ხო და ეხლა უკვე როდი შეიძლება ველოდოთ რომ BMF კამარი საქართველოში რო ჩამოიტან?
მალე ჩამოვალ საქართველოში, ეხა ჯერ ხვალე ესპანეთში ბრუნდები და მე აუცილებლად ჩამოვალ საქართველოში. აუცილებლად.
ძალიან გელოდებით, კიდევ ერთხელ ძალიან დიდი მადლობა.
შამგარეთ, უდიდესი მადლობა ყველას.
ილია, ბოდიში, გილოცავ პირველ რიგში ამ ძალიან მაგარ გამარჯვებას. ჩვენთვის ქართველებისთვის განსაკუთრებით საამაყოა და სასიხარულო ესეთი მომენტები, ამიტომ კიდევ ერთხელ დიდი მადლობა შენ და მერაბს ასეთი მომენტებისთვის. So to be honest, I don't really have a question, just a little request. There are too many Georgian journalists and Spanish journalists here. Is it possible somehow to take a photo with all of us together?
Of course.
Thank you.
Let's go. I'm going to come down and take a picture with you and with this guy too.